all the non-consumable upgradable items. Non-consumable permanent upgrades. So this includes things like level 2 shield. The level 2 sword we'll get, which will require 20 seashells. There's 26 seashells in the run. We only need 20. We'll talk a bit more about the seashell routing later. There's also pictures, heart pieces, upgrades to all 3 consumable items of bombs, powder, and arrows. And I've missed one. Oh yeah. Do you know the other one? Green tunic?
So, you've already covered most of it. But yes, we will need to
the tunic.
we will need to grab 1 tunic at some point during this run. It doesn't matter whether it's the red or the blue tunic, just 1 is required.
Can't be green.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we cannot end with the green tunic. I would love it if that was the case, though.
Just give it back.
Yes. So they're now getting quick sword here. Hopefully, PerfectQuest gets it.
Perfect gets it. Crunchy doesn't.
We'll see if Crunchy gets it after this text here. Not quite. But it's minimal time save.
I argue it's actually faster to do it the other side. Just in Hundo, because of if that is a rupee.
Oh, to grab the rupee faster, yeah. Ooh, not so much.
They're getting quite bad RNG here.
Pretty bad start.
Crunchy missing. Well, Crunchy getting the RNG. He's just not getting the dupes. Oh my god, he missed 4 out of 4 dupes.
Oh.
We got the 5th one.
Okay, 6 and 5. Yeah, not bad.
He would have been on 10 if he got all of those.
Ooh, gets that dupe. So this is the first seashell that they're grabbing here.
So, seashell routing is quite important, and you might sort of question why the routing of it is important, because they're not consumable items, that you just need 20 to get the level 2 sword. But we need to have 5 and 10 seashells exactly when we get to the seashell mansion, and we'll get an extra seashell, as Green Tunic well knows.
Yes, if you don't get that seashell for the 10 seashells in the mansion, you have to try and find a backup seashell, which apparently the best backup is in Dungeon 6, which I should have realized sooner.
As you found out.
But hopefully they don't forget anything here.
Crunchy almost not picking up the bow. I mean, I get the sentiment, you don't want to risk the shopkeeper trolling you anymore, but I think the bow is quite important to have for the run.
It saves a little bit of time for sure.
Yeah.
So Crunchy doing trendy game now. We have to get the powder here so that we can get into Dungeon 2 later on. This also saves us having to go grab the mushroom and then turn that into powder, so it's a little bit faster to do it this way.
Oh, okay, so PerfectQuest didn't save and quit on the shop. So he's having to re-farm rupees. At this point, I have to wonder how this is faster. Because surely it would be quicker to just get the mushroom later.
Yeah, I think this is going to take way too long to try and do.
This is taking way too long. He should go and get the mushroom after Dungeon 1 when he gets that heart piece. So, in the shop, so you need 10 rupees to buy the bombs, and that's why we get the 10 rupees. But we can also save and quit as we're buying, and that is the glitch. So stealing isn't a glitch, but a glitch would be to save and quit as you're buying an item. And as a result, you don't pay for that item. But you need 10 rupees to be able to pay for it. And we also need 10 rupees to buy the powder. So, PerfectQuest finally getting 10 rupees.
As Crunchy gets the bomb trigger here on Taran, which is going to allow him to go straight up and grab the tail key to get into Dungeon 1. But yeah, that's a huge time loss for PerfectQuest. Yeah. That's such a shame.
At that point, the backup really would have been to get the mushroom on the way to Dungeon 2. And there's a perfect opportunity is when you get the heart piece.
Okay, so PerfectQuest is gonna make his way to the key as Crunchy enters the first dungeon here. First dungeon's pretty straightforward. It doesn't take too long at all. There is one seashell that he has to grab in this one, though, which is going to be hidden behind this wall on the left.
It's quite interesting how people's times can deviate quite rapidly in Dungeon 1 based on when they get the seashell. Something I've noticed with Vlak in particular is that his Dungeon 1s are so quick. Well, the race yesterday between Jacob and Vlad, the gap opened up a lot, like just in Dungeon 1, and that was due to seashell routing. So, regarding that bomb trigger in the forest, until yesterday, Crunchy didn't actually realize that you had to kill the left moblin. He just thought you had to kill one. And when I was watching his stream, and he was like, "Why isn't this bomb trigger working?" And I was like, "Have you killed the moblin, the one on the left?" And he's like, "No." And his explanation for it was that he just thought people killed it to get out of the way.
I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense. So, bomb triggers are so weird in this game because they actually rely on a sprite order. And you'll see later on in Dungeon 7 that we also kill an enemy, a specific enemy that we don't normally have to kill, just for this very reason, because if it's still alive, it'll mess around with bomb triggers. Actually, no, that happens twice. That happens just before Dungeon 8 as well.
Dungeon 8, not so much for this one. When you have Bow Wow with you, I know it affects it. But yeah, we don't have Bow Wow at that point. But yeah, Crunchy opting to go for a death after getting the key, which was smart, because it doesn't waste much time to do it. And now he's going to be finishing up this dungeon by fighting Moldorm, who is everyone's least favorite boss. He is a pain.
We have seen so many runners just mess up on Moldorm.
Oh no.
In this,
So Crunchy taking a fall there, yeah.
So Crunchy joins the ever-lengthening list of runners which have messed up Moldorm in this tournament. That's quite a long list as well, which, honestly, like for a speedrunner, and a casual, Moldorm is probably the hardest boss in this game out of the 8 dungeon bosses.
His movement's just very erratic, so you have to have, quick reactions to where he's moving to, and sometimes he just gets the better of you. But it doesn't take too long to jump back up and try again, fortunately.
Yeah, there's a glitch there where if you fall into the pit but you hold the jump button, you'll jump immediately back up the stairs. So we're going to see PerfectQuest do a super jump here. Well, at some point. So basically, the way a super jump works is because you're clipped into a wall, when you jump off that wall, the game thinks you're inside that tile. So it will make you fall off as if you're on a ledge. So like a ledge you'd normally fall down. So it gives you that kind of height, and this is how we use super jumps.
Yeah, super jumps and bomb triggers combined really break this this game and category. It allows us to make some dungeons much faster. It'll take out. So, for example, Dungeon 6, it cuts Dungeon 6 in half. Yeah, they're crazy big skips.
Super jumps, super jumps and bomb triggers are the two single most time-saving tricks in the entire run. And I know people are going to say early magnifying lens, but early magnifying lens is still a super jump.
Yeah, so it still comes down to super jumps in the
Yeah,
end.
it's still a super jump. Albeit the set for it is really annoying.
So Crunchy's going to be going to the camera shop here first. The reason he wants to do this before getting Bow Wow is because Bow Wow would stop him from being able to do this. The mouse kind of freaks out at the sight of Bow Wow, I guess. So he gets these, and this will allow him to get the pictures throughout the game. There's, as Cravone said earlier, there's 12 of those total. So
I said that yesterday. I did say that earlier. But yeah, this... Oh yeah, I said before the...
Yeah, I thought you were mentioning when you were going through everything we needed.
yeah, there's 12 of those. They already have 2, so they will have the one in the photo shop. Now, normally you need to talk to the photo guy before you get pictures. There is one picture in particular which is different, and that's the stealing from the shop picture. As soon as you steal from the shop, whether you've spoken to the mouse or not, you have that picture.
The picture of shame of having to steal.
Picture of shame is the one where he knocks you out and takes the picture anyway. Use him. So we're gonna see a PerfectQuest. So this is part of his rupee route. Now they have a rupee route for Frog Song. So PerfectQuest is going to do a super jump to get this heart piece. Now, if he had, instead of farming those 10 rupees at the start, again, if he had gone through that entrance after or before this, he would have been able to get the mushroom, and that would have been the backup strat.
So Crunchy only having a little bit of trouble with Bow Wow getting into Dungeon 2, because he, again, it's RNG how long it takes him to eat one of those flowers. But it wasn't too bad by the looks of it. And then this dungeon is very linear. It's there's no backtracking. It's just one way to the other. So usually there aren't any issues with this one.
You know, it's super confusing anytime someone mentions something like a time save in D2. I was like, how can you save any more time in D2?
Yeah,
It's
there's
so
not
linear,
much time
there's
to
nothing
save.
you can really save. But yeah, with speedrunners, we find ways to save time just anywhere.
Even if it's just fractions of a second.
Speaking of time save, Crunchy is now going to two-shot Angry Ogre with the bow.
Very easy boss if you've already stolen the bow at this point.
You're not meant to have the... Well, I guess you're able to have the bow at this point because the game developers programmed stealing in. But they don't expect you to have it at this point, so it two-shots many bosses.
So PerfectQuest taking on Moblin King right now. Hopefully he can get it in 2 cycles. We'll see what happens. He's a little bit far from the wall. Oh, unfortunately he did run into him though. So that stopped his momentum, so it's looking like it might be, yeah, 3 cycles for him.
Yeah, the Moblin King can be somewhat annoying if you go for him too early. Because if your sword gets stuck, it sort of stops his movement, and therefore he doesn't hit the wall and doesn't get stunned. And you basically lose a cycle. Crunchy not deciding to say, what is it, like 4 frames by using a bomb there?
Using bombs to weigh down the platform. It does save time, yeah.
It saves a sub-frame.
A sub-frame. Worth going for then. So this boss, the genie, can be kind of tedious if you don't know how to break him in one phase. So usually it takes 3, but if you clip into the top wall like Crunchy's going to do here, and then throw him into the wall, he breaks instantly. So it's only 1 cycle there for the pot, and then you can just blow him up here, and he's a pretty easy boss if you kill him in that way.
So the second part of that quick kill just requires time. Because bombs will two-shot him, it's just about getting 2 bombs off before he starts whizzing around the room. The reason why he splits all in one go, like, and this is just my speculation as to why it does that, is that because you're clipping into the wall, the bottle loses, like, the bottle does not gain momentum off bouncing off the wall. So it stays in the wall, and whenever it comes into contact with a wall, it takes damage. So it just takes those 3 hits instantly. That's how I think it works, anyway.
Alright, so Crunchy's going to go all the way to the right here. Essentially, all he's doing is unlocking a teleporter, which he's going to use later on. So it looks like he's just completely going out of the way and then just saving quitting for no reason, but it's just to get this location right here.
So, you know, I hope we do one day have a no woob, an any percent no woob tournament, just so that we can explain that that's the only difference between the 2 categories.
That and faster Evil Eagle fight, for whatever reason.
Yeah, and let's not forget ICS. That's why that category will never be run again.
Hopefully we can find a way to avoid having to do ICS.
50-50 chance on a trick which is basically going to kill the run if you fail it. And there's no second chances on it as well.
Okay, so Crunchy picking the second option here from the Mad Batter. And that's going to give him 60 bombs, which he's going to make a lot of use of. We do need bombs a lot in this category.
I agree with chat. Let's forget ICS exists. So yeah, the routing with the Mad Batter is actually quite important. So is Crunchy just taking a break here? Oh, maybe he was thinking.
Okay,
so,
there we go.
The Mad Batter has 3 upgrades. It has powder, bombs, and arrows in that order, and they're in that specific order with the chat options. So they have to pick the right one that they need at the time, which quite often is bombs here. Although there is a route used by some people where they'll get the arrow upgrade there after getting 2 sets of bombs. I apologize if you can hear the thunder in the background, by the way.
Okay, so Crunchy now making his way over. He's going to blow up this cave here for later when he needs to get the heart piece that's in there. And he's going to get the picture at the villa just before he does the villa skip.
So it's interesting that Crunchy decides to go into that phone booth. Now, the reason why he's going to do that is he's going to save and quit back to there after the Seashell Mansion. And so you remember what we were saying earlier about when you have 5 or 10 seashells in the Seashell Mansion, it will give you an extra seashell. So that's what's going to happen with Crunchy in a second. Then he's going to save and quit back to the phone booth, because the Seashell Mansion is considered a 2D section. And overall 2D sections will not work the same way with save and quit rules. So you can save and quit whilst you're in a 2D section, and it will return you back to your previous non-2D section entrance. So yeah,
it makes for some very convenient routing options to be able to just save and quit from there.
I think we'll see this again once more in the run later on.
I know for sure at Mambo. But I think you're right. There is another one somewhere.
Yeah, there's one near the fisherman. Yeah, after you speak to the fisherman, just before early magnifying lens.
All right. So Crunchy's currently buffering to try and get Villa Skip here. It is again. Well, this one's a frame rule, so it's kind of random on when it'll let you go. He just got it though, so I'm not sure how many buffers was that. It looked like a fair few. Like eight or 9.
I would say that's half random, half not, because it's random on whether you're going to get the right frame, but I'd say it's not random in where you position on the pit to get it, because I think if you position in certain spots on the pit, you're always going to get it quicker.
Yeah,
Just
like you
a
have
random amount quicker. Yeah. So Crunchy getting the seashell in Ace.
They're currently just building up the seashell collection. He's going to grab one more here before going into the 3rd dungeon, which is personally my favorite dungeon. I like the flow of it. Feels very nice to speedrun through.
So, we've had a question in chat about why do we, like, wouldn't it be faster to collect 2 seashells that aren't in the seashell mansion because of the animation? Short answer is no. There are 26 seashells in the game, so we take the 20 quickest seashells in the game, and the 2 in the seashell mansion are within those 20 quickest. If there was one that was quicker, we would be dropping one of those seashells. Well,
they're very convenient because they're kind of along the way anyway, as you're grabbing other shells. So even though there is an animation to getting them, it's still faster than trying to get, for say, the D6 one or the one by Candlelit Castle. So yeah, it just works out to be the fastest way.
The one by Candlelit Castle, that would require hookshot jumping.
No, I grabbed that one.
Okay. Maybe not require hookshot jumping, but to be quicker, require hookshot jumping.
Yeah, it was slow for sure. Oh, Crunchy just missing the key there. Oh, he went and got it though, so it's all good. And then once he gets this key here, he's gonna do a fun little trick called the Dongo Skip, which is always good to see.
I have to say, I hope not picking up that key isn't compensating for a particular Dungeon 5. We don't want to see him pick up a key in that room.
Oh yeah, please no. That would be a huge time waste. Okay, so PerfectQuest making his way into Dungeon 3. Yeah, for anyone that missed it, PerfectQuest did have an unfortunate beginning in that he accidentally bought the bombs instead of well, yeah, getting the bombs and then saving quitting to avoid spending the rupees that he would need for powder. So he had to grind for 10 more rupees, which took a long time, so he's pretty behind right now because of that. But yeah, with Piece of Power, this next boss is fairly easy. Vitreous, is it?
Vitreous, yep.
So, essentially all you need to do is charge into him, split him into 2 pieces, and then kill each of those 2 pieces.
I must be alone in that I feel doing without Piece of Power is quicker. In main category, I always make sure I lose Piece of Power before that fight.
Well, I mean, it saves having to equip the feather and the sword. Because you need the boots to break him into 2 anyway.
I guess it depends on the person, but yeah. If you're able to do that boot strats, it's definitely quick.
Yeah, as Spirister says, we just basically call a lot of these bosses Slime something. There's Slime Eel, and he could be Slime Eye.
I meant that doing it with Piece of Power is quicker. Not that doing it without Piece of Power is quicker. Doing it without Piece of Power is definitely slow.
Like Feather and Sword with Piece of Power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Crunchy going into the cave that he opened up earlier. There's a heart piece in here. Behind this wall that no one would ever think there was a heart piece behind. Because it does not stand out at all.
I never got this one on my save that I was a kid.
There's a couple of heart pieces. Actually, more than that. There's like 3 or so heart pieces I would never think to look for.
Where was the third one? Because we both know where the other one is. Where was the third one?
So yeah, there's the one in the moat, and for me, it's the one in the water cave, like below D7.
Oh,
I wouldn't think to dive in there.
I would never know how to get the one in Obstacle Skip Cave.
Oh yeah, that's another one that's yeah, it's hidden behind a wall again.
There. So Crunchy getting his 10th and then 11th seashells.
Yeah, so this will be... So he's doing what I should have done last time and getting the 11th seashell from here.
It was funny because it was actually ironic. Crunchy was commenting at the time on how you had forgotten to get that. He's probably laughing to himself right now if he's listening to commentary. Most
likely. Well, at least he didn't forget. That would be something.
No, that would be impressive.
Oh, PerfectQuest having such a hard time with those Dodongos. Yeah, he actually had to save and quit out of the... to get out there. Yeah, because he's soft-locked in the wall. I think he's opting to just get this key here. Yeah.
So, PerfectQuest is actually quite new to the game. He's only picked up the game in the last couple months or so.
But he's already making like crazy progress. He's got a really
he's
good time already.
Quicker each time. But we're seeing him fail on some of the more harder tricks, I must say. I mean, I kind of feel there's no shame in failing the harder tricks. It's when you fail the easy stuff that you kind of feel bad.
I can definitely relate to the flock clip issues. For whatever reason, sometimes they just will not work for you and you cannot get past that block. But yeah, Crunchy... Yeah, most likely subpixels. Crunchy getting the ocarina now. Which will allow us to get access to the best song a little bit later, but you'll hear that. I'm
also
sure.
The worst song. And also the middle song.
But we're not going to elaborate on which one is which.
We currently have one of the songs that is within the top 4. That is the song that we don't have a song for. The one you use in any percent.
He's just trying to learn a song, so he's just playing something.
And somehow it can spawn death away.
That's a pretty powerful song, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Ooh,
oh
my goodness.
Perfect! Just not having a good slime meal fight. He manages to finally get them though. So Crunchy caught 2 fish there. So the big fish has a heart piece, which is required as part of the 100% run. But the small fish, it's honestly just quicker to like get it lured, let it swim off, and get out of the way. It's quicker to do that than to catch it or to try and avoid it. Did I say slime eel? When I was describing slime. Why do we have 2 bosses with slime in their name? So, we see Crunchy going down to get Marin, and usually around the time when we get Marin, we get the seashell, first of all. But we tend to have a bit of a story time about seagulls and RNG. Green Tunic, do you want to tell that story? Then Green Tunic's gone a bit silent there. So, you have noticed earlier that we did a few parts of the trade sequence. We didn't actually need to do all of the trade sequence because coming out of Dungeon 3... Crunchy! Oh my god. Yes. Crunchy, you are a legend. So, we did part of the trade sequence, which came out after Dungeon 3. So you're meant to have the stick before you go into Dungeon 3. So the game just for some reason gives you... Well, you can't see the crunchy text here. So it just gives you the stick. So you're able to talk to Taran, then you're able to talk to the bear in Animal Village. Now we can do a bomb trigger later on to skip stuff in Animal... Well, we can skip part of the trade sequence, a big part of it later on. The only reason why we need to do this part of the trade sequence is to get Marin. And Marin gives us 3 pictures, which are required for 100%. So we also see Crunchy getting a heart piece, and we see PerfectQuest getting his first seashell upgrade. Usually this means that PerfectQuest is going to be getting sort of a later dungeon level 2 sword, as opposed to early. Quite a lot of our runners will be getting level 2 sword before Dungeon 5. But that's sort of like the newer route. And not everyone does it yet. I should mention that the route changes all the time at the moment. It's a very fluid route.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes as of recently, for sure, which has brought so much interest to this category. Also, I apologize. I don't know what happened there. I kind of got booted out for a little bit.
It's because the RNG of the seagulls. Did you see what Crunchy put on?
I did.
That was epic. Do you remember when we used to race with Seabass, and Seabass would do this amazing sort of mid-tro when we get to Marin?
That would be the best part of the race.
I
we
miss those. Yeah, we'll be waiting the entire race for that. I miss those.
Yeah, right now for us, definitely Hundo is the big thing. But yeah, so Crunchy's heading over to the Walrus with Marin in hand, and he's gonna look to bomb trigger this Walrus here.
So you might wonder, why do we even bomb trigger the Walrus when we actually have Marin? So the reason is that it saves, is it 1 or 2 menus? And so you'll see we're able to actually bomb trigger a heart piece in a second, as well as the time it's going to take Marin to walk off the screen.
Yeah, it's very minimal time save, but we still do it anyway because it's time save. And now he's gonna go up here. He's gonna grab a heart piece that's in the cave, using another bomb trigger. Before bomb triggers, we used to just jump across this pit, which was a little finicky. But like with most things now, bomb triggers take away the difficulty of most things.
Yeah, did you know a heart piece is a animation? What is it? What is it? A cutscene. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay, so PerfectQuest just finishing up the fishing minigame, so he gets his heart piece from that. So this whole section right now between Dungeon 3 and 4, there's just a lot of getting heart pieces, getting seashells, getting pictures. That's the big thing here. So a lot of the 100% is taking place right now.
So yeah, there's a massive segment between Dungeon 3 and Dungeon 4, which is basically a 15-minute collectathon. So we saw Crunchy get a key there in the desert by firing 2 arrows. Now, what I'm told happened, and this is 100% canon, like 100% lore. What happened is that Crunchy fired those arrows at such speed that it broke the physics of the universe, and it spawned a key for Dungeon 4.
I mean, I believe. You know, I think that's.
I come up with a new story each time. I mean, that's the whole thing. And I got told off by Alpha 5 the other day for actually explaining why that was.
So Marin's going to teach us a fun little song here, which we are most likely not going to be using again in the run. Because the only reason you would use this song is to trigger the egg at the end. But once again, bomb triggers take the place of that as well.
The only song we're going to be using in this game is Mambo. And we're going to be using it, I believe, twice. And that's it.
Yeah. We don't need these songs. Just for the sake of completion.
Wow, I'm getting shouted out by Alf. Well, hopefully this version of the lore was a bit better. So we're warping now up here. This is why we unlocked this warp earlier, because it just makes it so much quicker to get to Dungeon 4. So we see PerfectQuest now getting one of the Marin pictures. So he's still doing quite a bit of cleanup, whilst Crunchy is now heading to Dungeon 4, but before he goes into Dungeon 4, he's going to get the bridge picture. But before that, he's going to do the most important trick of the run. Do you know what that is, Green Tunic?
I do know what that is. Let's see if he gets it here.
Now, this is a very costly trick, because if you don't do it, it's a 3-day ban from our community.
Oh. Oh. Oh no. He didn't get it. He went for it, but he was a little bit too
I guess
low.
maybe that's a 1.5 day ban.
Yeah.
Went for it, but didn't get it.
Yeah.
So
At least he tried.
That's obstacle skip. That's a meme within the community, and it saves half a second. They go through there 3 times? But if they fail once, it loses 2 seconds. So yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't get it there. Maybe PerfectQuest will get it when he gets to the obstacle skip. We'll see.
So
Right.
Crunchy had just used a trick called a Jesus jump to get up that ladder. Well, I guess it's not a ladder, it's stairs. He gets butt sword. Not really much to explain about butt sword. So Jesus jumping, it works similar to Villa skipping in that there's a frame whilst you're on the water where you see a splash and you're actually able to jump out of it. Interestingly, if you keep buffering it, that frame is going to remain all the time once you get it. So you can buffer endlessly down water.
Alright, so this dungeon, we're going to see another example of that, of Link jumping on water, to get to the flippers. It saves a little bit of time doing that. Yeah.
Jesus jumping to get the item that stops needing to Jesus jump. So he's buffering and he's waiting to see the splash of Link on the wall. There it is. And now he's going to just transition. He's going to use the save and quit menu so that he can buffer out of the save and quit menu to jump out.
Yeah, because if you didn't save and quit buffer there, you wouldn't be able to jump, and you'd just be trapped, infinitely falling into the water over and over.
Yeah, you need the buff from the save and quit menu to get something to actually jump out. So he goes and gets the flippers. PerfectQuest didn't actually bomb trigger. He went to talk to the walrus with Marin. So definitely using some older strats. Oh wow, what is that on? What's that on PerfectQuest screen?
I don't know. I haven't seen that boss.
I've not seen it before. I guess it's a boss. I guess my law's wrong.
Okay, so he gets the
trying
key.
to vehemently ignore KrunchyLex's screen right now.
And we have Anglerfish, the hardest boss in the game, for sure. Other than Moldorm, second hardest.
I think he's harder than Moldor. Especially when you don't get that, when you're sort of like 1 pixel too high to collect the heart container.
And it just shamefully falls to the bottom, and you have to swim down slowly and get it.
it.
Or you try and hookshot down.
Which we've only, like, so I did that meme like a year and a half ago easily. Probably longer than that. And we've only recently found out you can actually hookshot down in water. There is a way to do it without breaking your D-pad as well.
Alright, is everyone ready for Mambo?
I want to see everyone in chat singing along to the line of second best song.
Oh.
Dude, the thunder in my background sang along with that.
It knows.
I heard a clap of thunder as they went oh.
Thunder paying its respects to Mambo. As Crunchy goes and gets the heart piece, which I said I would never find casually. I'm pretty sure I did never find it.
Yep. I want to say this is by far not even the worst one. There's one that is just no way were you going to find that unless you were just scouring every inch of this game as a kid.
Yeah.
Or
That point where
internet.
the desperation kicks in and you're just checking every screen to see where that
It's
heart
like,
piece
can I
could
dig
be.
here? Can I dig here? Can I go under here? Can I go under here? So,
And there's no hints in the game to say where it is. So you would need, if you didn't search everything, you need some kind of guide.
so Crunchy having the ghost following him. So we're gonna see him now bomb trigger part of the trade sequence. Now he could have done this without Marin, but the fact that we needed Marin for pictures meant they couldn't really do that. So he's using a bomb trigger here because the side of the screen is apparently a pit. Good game development, yeah. So that's apparently a pit in the 2D section, and it allows him to basically bomb trigger and get the next item in the trade sequence.
Yeah, and this is another huge skip because that skips a lot of parts of the trade sequence. The last thing we got was, I believe, a pineapple. So it skips everything from the pineapple up until this point.
So it skips the hibiscus,
The hibiscus, yeah.
letter, the hook, the broom.
Yeah, and it's right here anyway, so it's just, yeah, it's such a good time, dude.
And then there's a picture here. Now, this is one of those pictures which is just, it's possible to just softlock yourself out of by accident. what runners tend to do with this is they talk to the guy, then they take their hands off the controller completely because it's so easy to just void this picture.
Wait, how do you avoid it? I know that if you press like start or something.
If you press start at a particular time. Yeah,
and then that's it. You couldn't get all the pictures at that point.
No, you'll see in the verification that you did it, but then like you don't see it appear as a picture. So, do you want to explain what Crunchy's doing?
Oh, yes. So he's doing the Zora bump trick, which is another super jump, and he's getting over this big pit here. It's very precise. I think there's a couple of pixels that will work. He got the pixel that was more so on the right, so he had the boots out of the wall to get over. But yeah, this was a big find for something that we could do, because it's going to let us get the boomerang early. Well, the magnifying lens early, and then the boomerang early. And that will be used for a trick in Dungeon 5. Which we'll see a little bit later.
It also helps a lot with routing, because now when he goes to the ghost house, he can also get the boomerang whilst he's there. There is one single overworld super jump in this game, and it's bigger than all the other super jump. I find that hilarious.
And it's one of the hardest too.
It's one of the hardest. Like you can see some really swag bonk super jumps in Dungeon 4 from like some of the top runners such as Sagaz, but that overworld one is right up there as one of the hardest ones.
Yeah, probably more so even than Goomba Surf. Just because Goomba Surf is well,
Goomba Surf is
it's mainly RNG. So
RNG.
I mean, that one kind of does have RNG with the Zora positioning, but I mean, if you're a top runner, like Vlad,
they've learned every single position.
Yeah, like a lot of our top runners can, no matter what position that Zora shoots you from, you can use that to your advantage to get over the gap.
So Crunchy now getting the boomerang. Gonna trade the shovel.
And there it is, there's the boomerang. The most OP item in this game. It just decimates everything.
Including Deathel.
Yeah, including Deathel. One shot on Deathel.
So PerfectQuest having some issues with this super jump, where he has to clank off the P-hat. The reason why he didn't get the first time was he was actually too quick, and believe it or not, you can be too quick with that super jump. You need the P-hat to be high enough, the bonk off it with the sword puts you down far enough that you can get out of the wall. So we have Crunchy now going to get his second upgrade, which is presumably going to be arrows.
Yeah, hopefully arrows. He's going to need those arrows for Color Dungeon.
Since, casually we need, what, like... How much powder do we actually need for Color Dungeon? Was it like 5?
I want to say around 5 or 6, because you just need it for the Buzz Blob boss. But even if you run out of powder, the great thing is it will replenish it. There's like a fairy that comes out of the side of the screen and gives you more powder, because I guess it knows there's a chance of running out of powder in there.
I mean, you need like to actually complete the game total, you need what, 5 bits of powder? Maybe 6 if you're doing it casually. PerfectQuest game member. So we didn't really explain what member does. So member is mostly irrelevant when it comes to dungeons. Well, it's wholly irrelevant when it comes to dungeons in this game, because it sort of acts like the mirror in A Link to the Past, where it'll return you to the start of the dungeon. But we have save and quit for that, so we don't need to use Mambo in dungeons here. But what we will use it for is it'll actually return us to a particular screen just north of the graveyard, and we'll use that twice in the run.
Yeah, it's best used when you know that you're going to have to backtrack a lot, and to save you that time, you may as well just Mambo. Get to where you need to go faster that way.
Yeah. Ooh, Crunchy getting trolled about that keys.
Okay, so PerfectQuest is coming up to that the early magnifying lens jump. He still has a little bit to do here, but it shouldn't be too much longer for him.
Some clean up. Perfect is lagging because he's got issues with his internet at the moment.
Alright, easy little Stalfos quiz, I guess it is there, just to get past those two and into the dungeon.
So in English, it asks what color they are, basically.
Yeah, so if you are colorblind, it's probably gonna cause some annoyances.
You usually get soft locked in this dungeon, don't you? Because sometimes there's not green. Like this rupee room is easy for you, but do you ever have it difficult with that puzzle because there's no green one?
Not so much difficulty, just reluctance. You know, I'm just like, ugh, I have to pick red or blue.
That feel when you soft lock on picking tunics.
Almost falling in that hole there.
Yep. So, you've noticed earlier that Crunchy went into this room that had a bunch of rupees in. Those were all 5 rupees. And that room is weird. In the DX version, it only exists in the DX version, and for some reason they coded it into the game's RAM rather than into, like, save files. So, you can save and quit all you like after getting this. Those rupees will not respawn. However, if you were to hard reset, they will. So you see Crunchy save and quitting and then hard resetting.
Yeah. So now that he's done that hard reset, he's going to finish up getting all the rupees he'll need for that best song, which you'll hear pretty shortly.
So they're all back.
Oh, 3 more. There we go. Oh.
He could have got that out of random drops.
Another easy boss because of Bo. 2 arrows, done.
This guy is actually technically a Hinox.
What is his official name? I forget.
Stone Hinox.
Stone Hinox. Oh.
Which is presumably why he just gets 2-shotted by the bow. So Crunchy using a new strat in the bingo room, which is using the boomerang.
It's clever. I like it,
Yeah.
except maybe when the boomerang's returning.
Yeah, it allows a much greater deal of control, but prevents a particular thing where if you have 2 that land in the same hole, and the last one that lands in is the correct one, it gets rid of 2 of them. It removes that, but I sort of feel better control is better. So, you know, the room Crunchy was in, I've seen runners hit one of the corners by accident and have no way of being able to fix it, that they've had to hard reset.
Oh yeah, I am guilty of that myself. I've done it before.
So yeah, Crunchy making short work of Well, I guess that boss you could describe as being in the same sort of category as Hothead, in that we don't understand how he works.
And Crunchy going for the blue tunic, so that's interesting. I know a lot of people will go for the red, but no, this is it's a nice choice. I like the look of the blue a bit more than the red personally.
So, the biggest time differences between the two tunics. So, the red tunic will give you increased damage, so it's going to help on mini bosses, particularly Plano. It's going to give you knockback, which also includes invincibility frames. Now, this will actually lose you time against Slime Ill in Dungeon 5. Red tunic also allows you to damage the Armos before Dungeon 6, so that actually saves time. But in terms of time, it's really not too much in it. The red tunic is technically faster.
Yeah, I know some people just don't like the knockback that the red tunic gives you. I think Spirister's one like that. He doesn't like the knockback effect. And yeah, it's not a lot of time between them, so runner's preference.
The blue tunic is definitely safer because it halves the damage you take.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I remember in your first race, GT, you would have gone sub 126 had you had the blue tunic.
Remind me, is that because of the Armos maze?
You died on your way to the Heartbeat moat. You died to one of the bombs from the bomb fairy.
Okay. I kind of forget.
Well, you've got a better PB now.
Every race just molds together, I don't know.
You've got a better PB now,
So, Crunchy just finishing the signpost maze, following the directions of each sign. And he has just enough rupees here for the best song, which I'm going to stay quiet for, because this is a thing of beauty.
Epilepsy warning. Put your salutes in chat.
Oh, it's such a beautiful song.
I believe so too. So someone mentioned that's the national anthem. Now, can you imagine them having a football match, and that's playing for one of the teams?
Did you see how close that fight was for PerfectQuest? He just avoided getting killed. Oh my goodness. That was a scary fight.
That boss wrecks me in Rando.
Alright, so here's the heart piece we were talking about earlier, the one that's in the moat. In a very random spot.
It's gonna take him a while to get there as well.
Yeah, it's a shame you can't just jump off the bridge and grab it that way. But no, you have to swim all the way around.
It'd be great if you could go underneath. So yeah, people in chat, so mention if, as a kid, you ever found that heart piece. I'm interested to know how many people genuinely found it. Oh no, we're not being sarcastic. That is actually the best song in Frog Song.
Okay, Perfect finishing up his bingo room. This is a very very crappy room. I don't think many of us do like this one at all. He's at half a heart, so I'm a little bit worried for him. Especially because they're camping in the right corner.
You know, one of the biggest privileges of commentating these runs is commentator's privilege to announce what is best song. It really is. So Perfect is gonna have to be so careful on this boss. It is so easy to take damage on this boss. Like, if you hit him with arrows, you take a ranged weapon and you take knockback. That's crazy. Yeah, it has to be so careful here. Rightfully so, he's going really easy on it. Oh. I don't blame him. Oh, so close. So if you kill one of those Stalfos like close to him, they usually drop hearts, and you actually saw one of the hearts drop just before he died there.
Yeah, it was just a little too late.
Yeah.
He almost had him, like, he was so close.
Oh, he played that so safe, and honestly, that's exactly what he should have done.
Yeah, he was definitely doing the right thing there. It's just...
So Crunchy find the armor. Now this is one of the points where Red Tunic is actually quicker. Because Red Tunic allows you to just slash this boss. You don't have to sort of do a spin slash. So PerfectQuest getting that boss down the second time. Now Crunchy is the one on half a heart. This should be interesting, because this is not a place that you want to be on half a heart for. In fact, I believe he's gonna have to go into a fairy fountain. Probably. I don't see him risking it too much here. Because one of these bomb fairies can easily kill you. Yeah, I totally agree. Crunchy would have probably died by now if he didn't have Blue Tunic. Because the Armos does usually 2 hearts damage, the big Armos do. I can't remember if it's 2 or 2.5. So, wow, Crunchy just... Okay, he's safe now. If he dies here, it's not a long walk back. But if he had died before that, he would have respawned really, really far back. So okay. So that's a property of the Blue Tunic. If you fall in a hole, apparently you don't take damage of that. It's a weird property of the Blue Tunic. I'm not sure anyone can really explain why that happened. So we see PerfectQuest getting that heart piece in the moat. So that really is the quickest time to get it. Nowhere is going to be quick to get that, but we're on the way to other places, and we can basically just save and quit to where we need to be again. So it saves half of the journey at least. So we see Crunchy in Dungeon 6 now. Dungeon 6 and 100% isn't really too exciting. Like, there's a few super jumps. That's sort of really it. So, fun fact, if we wanted to route Dungeon 6 before we finished Dungeon 4, we wouldn't be able to, because as soon as you get the level 2 bracelet, the ghost will not spawn. And we actually need the ghost in this category to get one of the pictures.
Yeah, that's the only reason the ghost is needed for one picture. So for example, if we were playing the original Link's Awakening, where pictures aren't a thing in the game, you wouldn't need to do the ghost at all. So it looks like PerfectQuest is going for the old method of getting over this gap, which is just to map buffer and then pause buffer until you're in the right position.
So the interesting...
I was just going to say, it does take a lot longer, but it is the safest way of getting over there.
So the interesting thing with PerfectQuest is that there's some sort of minor tech that he doesn't know, but he does know this. And if there is one thing to know, it would be this, really. Because this saves a lot of time. Let's see if he can boots out of it. Of course he can. So we see Crunchy doing like a series of super jumps in this section, which basically skips half the dungeon. And another flock clip. Well, he didn't get it first time. Gets the second time. So this is a pretty precise super jump. You have to be lined up at the right point on that wall. Otherwise you're going to get stuck in one of the walls on the top. But we rarely see people stuck in that.
Yeah, I think once you get stuck in that wall once, you make sure never to do it again. So there is a visual cue you can use to avoid it. So as long as you're careful, you won't get stuck in it. And first try horse heads, was that for Crunchy? Was that first try?
Looks like it, yeah.
Ooh,
so
there you go.
Our current leader is Crunchy. By quite a margin, to be honest. He's got a lot of like collected things that PerfectQuest doesn't at this point. But I think PerfectQuest does Dungeon 5 before Dungeon 6. So this would be interesting. He's also going to get the boomerang now, instead of when he went to give back the ghost. I think it might just be that he's unfamiliar with the current routes.
Yeah, because he's grabbing a seashell from here. So it's a little bit of a
part of the seashell routing then.
Yeah. Generally, we don't grab this one anymore, just because we don't come back here again.
Yeah. So, Crunchy making light work of... Well, you could argue this as the easiest boss, you could argue Anglerfish is the easiest boss, but basically this boss, he takes a while to spawn, and during that time he is completely vulnerable to bombs, so you can get 3 of the 5 required bombs in before he even starts talking to you. So, they've both got the boomerang now. Crunchy finishing Dungeon 6.
Yeah, and hopefully he has all of his seashells, because this is generally where he gets the level 2 sword.
Yes, they get this because of Master Stouthouse in Dungeon 5. It just makes him so much quicker.
Alright, so he got all of his seashells, and he's going to get his sword now. Also, a weird note, the bar that goes up on the right there is also RNG, how long it takes to get to the top. Not sure why that was a thing they made, but there's some interesting decisions for this game.
Yeah, it's... I kind of think of it as like it's an order of 2 scale they have going on that wall there. So you got 5, then you got 10, then you got 20. It just doubles each time. Because why don't we get a seashell at 15? So we see Crunchy going for Dungeon 5, and towards the start of this dungeon we're gonna see probably... Well, yeah. We're gonna see a trick.
We're gonna see PerfectQuest do it right now, hopefully, because he's already doing Dungeon 5. Oh, didn't get it first try. So what he's trying to do is use the boomerang to drag the key that's in this room over into the one on the left, and it's gonna turn the key into a hook shot. Because good game programming. So let's see if he can do it. Not quite.
We actually, like, weirdly, even though they're on different routes, like, they're both in the same room at the same time here.
Yeah. It just synced up pretty nicely for some reason.
I don't think we've seen a race yet where they're both on this screen at the same time. So this is actually a 50-50 RNG, but the important thing is that they must not pick up that key before they do it.
And they're trying to get into a particular position, which is why you see PerfectQuest jumping around. So Crunchy got it. So I think it took 2 attempts for Crunchy.
Yep.
And PerfectQuest just having a really bad time with it, unfortunately.
Now we see Crunchy able to get the key to spawn again. So you actually also have to have all items off the screen as well. So I believe that includes all the enemies. You also have to have like any drops that they drop off the screen. So you have to collect all of those before this can work.
Okay,
so,
you got it.
Okay, yeah. So we're seeing on Crunchy's side why level 2 sword is so powerful. You just don't need bombs to that room. So the reason why early hookshot works is that Master Stalfos usually drops, well, he always drops a key, a small key, if you kill him. And you can kill him in any of the rooms. So because he drops a small key, you might wonder, well, how does he actually drop the hookshot in that one room? That one room specifically changes any small key in it to a hookshot. So what we do, we basically use the boomerang to bring in a small key from the previous room into that room, which it then counters us getting that key in the Stalfos room, and it changes it into the hookshot. And because we didn't get the key in the room where the key spawns, the key respawns, so we can get that again to then progress the dungeon.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest, newest additions to this category by far. The fact that you can just create the hookshot from a small key and then still get the small key again afterwards. It's just so perfect.
We have tried to find other uses for this in the run. I don't think there are any. I mean, there's maybe one negative one, but we wouldn't want to do
that. What is PerfectQuest doing? Okay, I guess he just accidentally picked the wrong option on the main menu there.
I was gonna say, is he saying?
So yeah, I guess the biggest difference for PerfectQuest there is he's getting different rupees. He's getting rupees in this dungeon. He got the rupees going towards the boomerang instead of getting the ones in the color dungeon. So that deviates him a little bit. So he still hasn't got the best song yet. So he'll be going to get that fairly shortly, I imagine.
Yeah, this is round 3 of the Swiss tournament. I think this is the 0-2 bracket, although I don't know if Crunchy's getting matched down. I don't know if Crunchy has won one yet.
Let me take a look. He hasn't won one yet.
We have that's a name. SNES Chalmers. You remember Chalmers, I'm sure. He's asking, yeah, does this category skip Plano? And he knows full well that this category does not skip Plano. Chalmers is just memeing. Humor
Maybe
him.
someday we'll skip Plano again. Someday in original Link's Awakening.
They're asking, is it blue tunic commentating? Well, no, you're red tunic, aren't you?
I'm just having an identity crisis with what tunic I am right now. I have to keep switching every race. So Crunchy is coming up to Rooster Skip, which has been the bane of every runner's existence for the longest time in this game, because it has existed for so long. So let's see how he does with it. See if he goes for the buffered method or if he.
PerfectQuest got the pull out on the snake. But he's had he's getting some really bad luck on Wolf Snake.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Crunchy falling there.
Crunchy falling, yeah. Well, okay, so PerfectQuest getting 3 pullouts in a row. This happens usually when you have 7 hits on the boss out of the 8 required. And, yeah, he's like just pulling out all the time. Wow. But yeah, this is the problem with Red Tunic, is that it's so hard to 2-cycle it. It quite often allows that as a possibility.
Yeah, going for the buffered method here. Obviously, a little bit slower, but it is safer. He's having some issues with his subpixel, though, because the hookshot's not lining up where it should. That's the one he wants. Okay, there we go. He got it.
See, the buffer method I use doesn't rely on subpixels. Just saying.
Yeah, the subpixels kind of throw off the visual cue because you want the hookshot to just kind of touch Link's nose, and when it does, you know it's good. But if it's slightly off, it looks a little off, and it can throw some runners off it.
I think I'm the only person in the entire community that uses select buffering.
That is an old method of buffering.
It's an old method, but it's consistent. It's actually.
I wouldn't say it's more consistent than what we do now.
Well, no, it's not more consistent, but you can. It's more than do map buffers and hope. You have to basically try and guess that you're fighting against the pull of the pit. And that's usually when it works. So if you can work out where the pit is, and you're sort of like pushing against, like away from the pit, it can be quite consistent.
So PerfectQuest doing the signpost maze right now to get his song. Meanwhile, Crunchy just going into Dungeon 7, which is a very fun dungeon to watch. I like this dungeon just because of how broken it is.
Chalmers asking if the next tournament can be Allen%. Sure, it can be. What's Allen%?
Allen% is just playing the game as you want to play it. Live free like Alan did. No rules, just whatever rules you want it to be.
Okay, so we're gonna have 2-minute race times then. Good.
Maybe it doesn't work for races.
just don't allow ace. So, Crunchy bomb triggering some pillars now. You will notice he killed Azul before he did the first pillar. And the reason for that is, as we mentioned earlier, there is sort of a sprite ordering. And you have to kill certain enemies before certain bomb triggers work. And that is one of those cases. So, Crunchy getting a swordless super jump.
And it'll be interesting to see if he attempts Gumba Surf. I kind of go into it like, if I don't get it first time, I'm just going to do the backup super jump. So we'll see what his take on it is.
Would Allen% count if you decided not to finish the game? What if your idea of wanting to play the game was just getting out of the house?
Yeah, I mean, well, that would be a rule, so finishing the game would be a rule. And you don't live by the rules in Allen%. You do what you want to do.
So
if you want to stop halfway and go get a snack, then That's what
I
Alpha
feel
Percent
like
is all about.
that would be a very smart category because people then work out, well, how can I justify just not even starting the run and getting it at 0 time? So Crunchy doing a save and quit only method? No, I'm not sure anyone really knows why this is save and quit only. But it can basically hookshot down and kill the evil eagle because it keeps its... I guess it's its Y pixel?
Yeah, it's interesting how that works. Why a save and quit makes the difference there. But either way, it allows for a very nice, fast kill on him.
Yeah, if you don't save and quit in the run, that quick kill doesn't work. For whatever reason.
So PerfectQuest about to do his rooster skip. Let's see how it goes. Okay, yeah, he's taken the smart way of buffering that because it was Link's position was a little precarious there.
It's always the landing off that first jump that I'm nervous of. Because it's so easy to get an insta-fall there. So,
Yeah,
PerfectQuest getting first try.
Yeah, he did pretty well there, thanks to the buffers.
So if you... Oh, he's getting bridge picture now. I was like, why did he save and quit there?
Yeah, so he's definitely following a route that best suits him. Which is why there's probably it's kind of hard to tell how far away they are from each other, just because the routes are a fair bit different.
Yeah. But that's the same throughout this entire tournament. Unless you have like the top tier runners, in which case it's... So at that point they use the same route, but everyone else, like anyone further down, they will just use different routes at this point. Because the current quickest route is just... It's very, very new.
Yeah, like, the route was being changed during the early stages of this tournament starting, which is a bad time for a new route to kind of come around, but I guess it can't be helped if you find new things.
Well, you say it's a bad time for a new route to come about. I disagree. I think it makes the races more interesting.
Yeah, people are going for new things that they haven't necessarily tried before. I know, like, I probably don't put enough practice into what I'm running, but yeah, it's fun each time, seeing how it turns out, hoping for the best.
The best thing is when you see someone go for bufferless death or skip. It's the only way to death or skip in this for it to be quicker. And that's always something special to watch.
Yeah, bufferless death or skip is... I still think it's a pretty significant time save, because if you watch compared to having to wait for Deathor, who can troll you pretty bad, even just one-shotting him with the boomerang, if he's just refusing to wake up, then, you know, you're in for a bad time. So it's worth trying, because it doesn't hurt to try it once.
It's a shame in main category that we can't just get the ocarina just to death or skip.
Yeah. 2 out of the way.
So Crunchy trying to do a weird hookshot clip into, well, past this keyhole, and he gets it.
Yeah, the weird thing about this clip is that you have to have hookshot on B and feather on A. It's the only way it works. So the way the items are positioned actually matters. which throws a few people off.
Hmm. It's actually in this, well, we don't see it in the run, but in this game it's actually not the only interaction which requires certain items to be on certain buttons. If you're in 2D sections and you want to use the boots, having boots on A is actually allows you to go further. And it does make a difference.
Seasons, ages races. I'm pretty sure there's a seasons tournament going on right now.
There is currently a seasons tournament going on right now.
Yeah, and they're kind of...
That's going on Speed Gaming as well.
Yeah, also through Speed Gaming, and the way they're doing it is they're doing essence races, so they're working people into it by progressively adding more essences to the races. I'm not certain when the next one is, but... Yeah, the room Crunchy's doing right now, I absolutely hate. It's the simplest room, but for whatever reason, I always manage to fudge it up somehow.
I love this room. This helped me make a video once. So everyone does that room differently, and it's so easy to mess it up. Also, like with the Roomba, you can jump whilst it's moving around as well with particular movements.
Yeah,
and,
so you can kind of optimize your jumps to get as close to the chest as possible.
That's another sort of setup that people use that's different than everyone else.
Leno giving PerfectQuest a bit of a hard time there.
Yeah, if only we could skip him.
If only there was a way.
So I should probably explain. So as you can probably see from the screen, this category is no wrong warp and no out of bounds. So for quite a while we were doing Blano skip, where we were doing a couple. Well, we were doing one super jump to basically skip Blano, but then we looked at our own rule set and realized that what we were doing was technically out of bounds. And it took us so long to realize, and it was only someone saying, hang on, why isn't this out of bounds? That we realized, it actually is out of bounds.
Yeah, so skipping Blano has become a bit of a meme for us at this point. But yeah, currently it's not allowed, just based on our rule set. The world record for this, I believe, is a 118.
So 18 something by
118.
Seisei.
Yeah, Seisei currently has the world record.
It is currently a 118.41. With Seisei being the only runner to break sub 190.
Yeah, he has mad skills.
He's unfortunately not in this tournament.
Yeah, I think he didn't have the time for it, I guess.
Yeah. Although, like, even if he was in it, like, it wouldn't have been a foregone conclusion that he would win either. There's 5 runners. I want to say there's 5 runners at the top of the leaderboard where the next world record could be any of theirs.
Yeah, well, you never know with these races. It can go one way or the other. If you get bad RNG, it's gonna mess your day up real good. So
actually, there's 6 now because Olos has joined that group.
Yeah, he has. Did you get a 121? Something like that?
He's got a 120.17.
Whoa, that's a crazy good time.
I think our next world record will come from Olos.
Ooh, Hothead hits really hard. Like, that was a lot of damage.
4 hearts of damage. So Crunchy entering the egg now to fight Deathel. I believe PerfectQuest still has Dungeon 7 and Dungeon 6 to do after.
That's a lot of damage. Oh man.
Oh yes, 4 hearts. I tell you what, it's scary in rando where you usually don't have many heart containers.
Okay, so he got the bomb trigger, which skips the text, but it also kills the music in this room, so it's going to be pretty quiet for this boss fight.
Yeah, it's a shame because the music in this boss room is some of the best music in the game. Of course, not as good as best song, but nothing's as good as best song.
And a random fact, that bomb trigger that cancelled out the text there was the first ever bomb trigger. So if you want to know what the first bomb trigger is, that was the first bomb trigger.
The last bomb trigger we use in the run is the first one we ever found. And it was only through our investigating how it happened that we actually figured out how bomb triggers work everywhere. And that night where we found it was just crazy. Everyone was streaming that night. Absolutely everyone, just trying all of these bomb triggers out.
Yeah, I don't think I realized how much it was going to change it after discovering that.
Yeah.
There's so many bomb triggers that you can do.
So Crunchy getting some bad RNG here off Agony. Some real bad RNG. So each blue ball is worth 8 seconds, and so Aghanim takes 4 hits to kill. The first 2 hits are free, but then the next 2 hits are 50-50 each. But it's like it's 50-50, but often when you're getting 5 or 6 blue balls, it really doesn't feel like 50-50 at that point.
Yeah, he's not having Okay, so what was that? 4 blue balls?
I was either 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
And he misses the Moldon quick kill.
So because of the level 2 sword, it speeds this fight up a little bit. And then same with Ganon as well. Slightly less hits required.
So he's not going to go for Death or Skip. So he's going to use the Boomerang to kill the final form then. Because it one-shots the final boss.
There we go. He got him. Yeah, a low 133 for Crunchy.
So Crunchy wins.
GG's to him.
GG. The 133.06. I don't know if that's SRL time. Because we go by SRL time in these races. And Crunchy joins us here now.
Howdy.
Crunchy, hello.
Is that a new PB?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, what would you say were your best parts of that run, that race there?
I don't know. It feels like everything between all the stuff between D4 and D0, just the magnifying lens and all that stuff. My movement felt pretty good through there. And just after the start where I was 44 seconds behind coming out of D1, it's just like I was like, I'm not going to stand for this. And I want all that time back. And
yeah,
and
you got it back. So that was really fun to watch, I have to say.
You were pretty solid with like pretty much most of your attack. You're solid with as well.
Well, that's good. I've been practicing.
I definitely related with that Goomba surf, because I am very guilty of just going for the super jump. I'm like, no, forget these Goombas. They're not worth it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that for a good long time. Just like, you know what, I can get the P hat jump real quick. I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
Also, Crunchy, I think you'll be glad to know that I definitely mentioned GT when you got your 11th seashell.
Oh yeah, he was saying that you were commentating when I missed it.
Yeah, I was.
So I'm glad that you didn't miss it, because you would have had to have eaten your words pretty hard there.
I usually have the exact opposite problem. I actually have been known to go into the mansion without grabbing the 10th seashell before. I'm just like, oh crap, I need to run back out there.
You go in, but you don't collect it.
I've done that so many times.
Oh my god. Well.
So I'm honestly the last person who should be judging for that, but you know how it is. We'll say, I wish I'd gotten even one fewer blue ball on that Aghanim flag, because it would have been 132. So close!
So close.
Yeah, you got some
Was it
bad
like
luck on that one.
Got 5 blue balls.
5 blue balls, and that's like, what, 40 seconds? That's a lot of time.
See,
Yeah,
based on that, if someone told you that it was 50-50 to get a blue ball or a yellow ball, would you believe them?
Oh god, no.
Yeah, when you get that many, it's just like, okay, this game is against me. Why is it not letting you?
Because I know it's over 2 minutes ahead after D8, and just kind of like, nah, none of that.
Could be worse. It could be 17.
Oh god, yeah. I was worried. It's like, please, just don't get me to double digits. I'll cry. I'll literally cry.
Wait, what's the most we've seen in this tournament? It's what? I think we saw 11.
I think it's 11, yeah.
Who was that that got that? Was that Xander?
I think so. I know I was commentating at the time. I think it was Xander, but I'm not 100% sure.
I kind of remember Xander talking about it, so it most likely was.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys need me to like reset and show my pictures? I checked it during the run, but it was pretty quick.
It would be useful, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that real quick.
So PerfectQuest also going to be going for the super jump here. I think he attempted the Goomba surf a little bit, but they were not cooperating, so he's going to go for this strat here. Yeah, he jumped on him, killed him. That's what they get.
Not bad.
And he's going to take this way around. Not bad.
Oh, Crunchy.
What? What is it? What?
That Seagull RNG. It sort of spelled out some words, didn't it? Your Seagull RNG made such a pattern that there were words on the screen.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I've never seen that before.
It's like monkeys and typewriters with Shakespeare. Sometimes Seagull RNG just gives you words. I mean,
I can't believe you've used that against me.
I was sitting here playing. Should I do something during my run? Then I was like, oh, I see who's coming. Oh.
I'd made a vow I wasn't going to mention it.
I know you did, which is why I knew I had to.
The same happened with Alpha yesterday as well. I was like, I wasn't going to mention it, and then Alpha just mentions it, and I'm like, well, wasn't me.
Oh, and we should probably mention, when Crunchy's checking his inventory here, we're just looking at the pictures, because the last save and quit wasn't at a point where all the hearts were gathered yet. So this is the same for most of the runners that check after the race is over. We're just looking to see if there's 12 out of 12 pictures.
Well, I guess there's also a level 2 shield as well.
Well, we should notice that throughout the race.
I wouldn't like to be the person that forgets level 2 shield in a hundo race.
I've almost done it before because I'm so focused on because I have trouble with the bomb and the boomerang on the crystal ball. Sometimes I don't even think about the chest. I'm like, oh right, I should probably grab that.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing with the hearts is we can see your hearts going into death goal.
Yeah.
So it looks like PerfectQuest just has Dungeon 6 to do, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because he does the old dungeon order, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Although he did do the early boomerang.
Yeah, he did early boomerang and early hook shot.
But with the older route.
The old route, yeah. He doesn't have the level 2 sword yet either. So he's getting his last picture now. And this picture actually requires you to have a magnifying lens.
Yeah, that's an easy one to miss.
Yep.
Yeah, he kind of had some
partially
unfortunate
routing.
deaths as well.
Yeah, deaths, routing.
I think D3 gave him some issues with the Dongo skip.
Well, he lost easily a minute at the start as well.
Yeah, his start was unfortunate because he went to buy the bombs, but he didn't save and quit out of it, so he spent the 10 rupees.
Oh no!
So yeah, he had to farm 10 rupees again. But
Oh, that's unfortunate.
the thing is, he didn't know what the alternative strategy would have been, which would be instead of farming the 10 rupees there, it would then have probably been quicker to farm the 10 to get the mushroom whilst you get that heart piece than to farm the 10 rupees.
Yeah.
Really?
It probably would have been quicker, yeah. Because think about it, because you're in that area, you're getting the heart piece. So normally you would save and quit, but you can just go into that entrance, come back in, so that when you save and quit, you'll be at the entrance. You then go get the mushroom, you jump over, and then you hand in the mushroom at the witch, and that will probably be quicker than farming the 10 rupees after.
Yeah, because it did take him a long time. I think it took like a minute or so, didn't it, to try and get 10 more rupees. So right from the get-go, unfortunately, he was pretty behind there.
Yep. Crunchy just showing off all of the photos.
Because, I mean, you don't usually get to see them. PerfectQuest showing off them fancy strats on the Armos Knight with the red tunic. Excuse me.
Yeah, you just push him right in the top left corner and just go to town with the red tunic buffer.
Yep.
So, what we would normally do, if we had the level 1 sword and, say, blue tunic or green tunic, we could do what's called boot strats, and it takes some precise movement using boots and sword to kind of deal damage to him by sprinting into him and then bouncing off the wall to avoid his knockback effect. So, but fortunately in 100%, we can just straight up wail on him with the red tunic, take him down real fast. And now he's going to be making his way to the last dungeon here, Dungeon 6. Which, as we said already, we kind of cut in half with the super jumps. Is he going to, okay, I thought he was actually going to go for a super swim there, the way he was lining up with the wall.
I thought for some reason he was going to go to the seashell mansion now. I was like, why now?
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm having flashbacks to missing the Zorlax jump twice.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, you
that.
died to that. Oh, that was something I was gonna mention. Is that
I made through Armos Maze with half a heart, and I died because I'd fallen a pit twice.
well, I tell you what, it's better dying due to falling in that pit twice than dying by getting murdered by a bomb fairy just outside.
I was so worried that was going to happen, and I guess you said, "Ooh."
I was nervous it was gonna happen as well. I was like, is he gonna get the fairy fountain? But you did, and I was like, brave.
No, I figured I could just boomerang the Armos Knight, then I would just kill the spark inside D6 and grab that fairy, because I wasn't expecting to fall in the pit.
Well, the thing is, you fell in the pit, but you respawn like one screen before.
Yeah, but still, it's an annoying time loss.
Yep. It's Perfect Quest getting the level 2 sword.
Yeah, and he's going to take advantage of that save and quit from the 2D section, which is going to take him all the way back to D6 entrance. Very convenient indeed.
Ooh, I like that.
If I were him, I'd let his hearts refill. Actually no, he's got enough hearts. So when you pick up the level 2 sword, you actually refill all your hearts when you pick up. Because the whole gimmick with it is that when you have full hearts, you can basically fire sword beams. So they sort of give you the hearts to do that immediately.
Yeah, it's a pretty smart way of showing you the new sword feature.
I wish there were like other items in this game with new features, such as compasses. I wish those had a new feature. Wish they like made a chime when there's a key in the room or something.
If only. Maybe in future updates.
Maybe. Was it Crunchy? I can't remember if it was Crunchy that mentioned to me the other day that well, I mentioned in general, not just to me, that it sounded like they were sort of advertising.
What's advertising?
What, the compass?
The compass advertising is like a telemarketer. It says a new feature, buy it now.
That sounds like something I would say, but it wasn't.
It sounds like something you would say, yeah.
Actually, it might have been Final Flame because he is all about. Maybe. He is all about the new feature on the compass. Let me tell you.
Oh, those Wizrobes take a lot of arrows. Okay, there we go.
Perfect Quest going for a weird sub to that. So he goes for bomb arrows, but he doesn't go for the double bomb arrow. I guess maybe he fired his second bomb arrow too quick. Well, actually, no. He placed a bomb and then he tried to do arrows.
It looked like he didn't try to get the top Wizrobe into position to get hit by the bomb. He decided to just opted to deal with it separately.
The thing is, if you have bomb and arrow equipped to that point, it's quicker just like stand on the corner of the safe tile and just bomb arrow up and then bomb arrow right in quick succession.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people would do that before anyone started using the sword to kind of get him into position.
Like everything I mentioned is an old strat now. That's how quick the game goes. Or how much I've been out of the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're talking changes in 2016 here. Oh, no. Okay, maybe he can boots out here.
Yeah, this could be...
okay.
He's gonna have to save and quit out.
He might have been able to boots left off the ridge there, but...
So that's what we mentioned when Crunchy came through here, that that's a very precise super jump. And if you get the pixel wrong, you're going to end up stuck in a wall. And that's exactly what happened with Perfect Quest there.
Oh no!
Oh, and he's taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah.
Does he not know about the hookshot invincibility trick?
He may not. It's not, I guess, a widely talked about glitch.
Looks like he's trying to block it with a shield.
So if you hook shot into one of these parts and then immediately hook shot after, you'll get invincibility. We don't know why it works, it just does.
I was love to understand it just locks you into the state where you're shooting the hook shot where you're normally, impervious to everything.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It just kind of removes your state, your sprite at all. So everything just kind of goes straight through you. It's like you're not even there.
So it's kind of unfortunate that we don't have a small key at this point, because the backup would be to go and fight Smasher if we had a small key.
Is that the name of Mousy Boy?
That's the name of the dog with the ball.
That's a dog. Looks more like a mouse.
Dude, it's a dog.
Yeah, that's definitely a dog.
I mean, Bow Wow's a dog, so I guess I shouldn't be
Bow Wow's a dog,
surprised. Yeah. Wait, but if Bow Wow was a dog, and oh no! Come on, Boots, you can do this. I believe.
Do it again.
Oh,
Too
no.
high.
So
okay.
Boots in left. Boots left.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
So, like lining up this pixel is like you want the tip of Link's hat to be
He's
sort of
too high.
below that third sort of column.
Yeah, he's
you-
1 pixel too high.
It's hard to really explain that in commentary, but yeah, along that third column from the right, there's this sort of line that goes across. You want the tip of Link's hat to be below that for it to work.
There we go. Yeah, looked he was a little bit too high.
There we are.
Alright, let's see if he gets as good luck horse heads as you did, Crunchy. First try horse heads.
So, Crunchy, between your race here and like your live streams and your commentary earlier today, at what point did you have time to steal Bamboo's cart?
I didn't. I've just been practicing really hard.
You've been practicing horse heads really hard.
Yeah, I mean, how else do you get
I
better?
mean, seems legit.
You gotta share with me this secret practice. Cause
Yeah, what kind of training is this that you managed to...
No secret practice. Just gotta do it a lot, and you'll get better.
You get the bad luck out of the way, I guess. You also get the good luck out of the way as well. I shouldn't even mention anything about horse heads given my track record.
Okay, so he's coming up to the boss of this dungeon now. It's 3 more rooms away. And yeah, it's a pretty simple boss. You can kind of get 3 hits on him before he even appears. I think Kravome was talking about this earlier.
Yep.
And then he makes a little cameo in Arc of Seasons as well, but they demote him to a...
do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Except you can kill him outright, because he never spawns.
Oh, don't get... Oh,
Oh, he got killed.
And that puts him back at the start again, unfortunately.
So it's kind of really these recovery strats that he's lacking, which is really not surprising given that he's a newer runner. And like a lot of these sort of mistakes could be sort of rectified with backup strats, but that only comes with time and experience of running the game.
Yeah, because it feels like a lot of the backup strats are really just the old strats, so to speak. Like, oh, this is the way we do it now. But if you know how the way we used to do it, then that's definitely a backup.
Yeah, that's what I've
Yeah.
always wanted that from a lot of tutorials to tell you what backups are, because it'll be more so just this is how you're supposed to do it. But then what if it goes wrong? What are your options? So
It's like
I like to see those mentioned a lot.
it's not an issue in this, but in the main category, bombs in Dungeon 7. If you run out of bombs in Dungeon 7, there aren't really any tutorials to tell you the quickest way to get bombs again in D7.
Yeah, and you kind of end up working it out in the moment and hoping for the best.
I hope he grabs the heart in the top pot there. Okay, good.
Imagine if picking up the horse head again reset the room so the door closed.
Gives you more time to practice.
Yes. Don't want to practice horse heads too much in my life. It's one thing I can avoid. But yeah, this is the third stage of our Swiss matches. There's two more Swiss ones, and then we go into, I guess, the main tournament there. And then we have another match tonight, actually. I believe it's 9:30 Eastern, or is it 8:30 Eastern?
It's in an hour and a half from now.
Yeah, I believe it's
So that works regardless of time zones. An hour and a half from now. We don't know what channel it's going to be on yet. But yeah, following this at the next hour will be Final Fantasy 1 randomizer, because I saw someone asking in chat about that.
Alright, so he's finished Dungeon 6, so he should have everything he needs now to go and finish off the game. And thanks to all our awesome upgrades with level 2 sword and beefed up tunic, the final boss fight is kind of a breeze.
I love how he has no arrows left. That would be alarming if this is main category.
Yeah, if Boomerang wasn't there.
Yeah, thank God he has Boomerang, because then that means he doesn't need arrows for the final boss.
Is he going around the left way? Interesting.
I've never seen someone go around that way.
That's a first. I have also never seen that.
Has anyone timed that? I guess it might be slow because of the water and it's not a straight line.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
More to pick up, it looked like, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not that much slower, that's the thing. Were we quiet during this anthem?
I don't think we were. I think we talked through it.
We should be.
Ah, what a beautiful song.
Touches my heart every time.
Not as good as best song, but you know, it's good.
I mean, few things are. Oh god, I almost took the wrong directions through the egg. I just remembered that now.
That panic when you kind of forget which ones you've already done.
You forget how many times you've gone left or how many times you've gone right.
Yeah,
Well,
and you take that guess.
Yeah, I went left up. I was like, oh shoot, I didn't go left twice. I'm just gonna start over right now, not take the chance.
It's just relief when you see that pit.
Yeah.
So actually,
we're gonna get to listen to this music.
Nice.
Yeah.
The nightmare.
So we didn't actually explain that pattern well. So normally, you would have to use the magnifying lens to then read a book in the library, which then sets the order in the egg. However, it's we know the default order, so we don't ever have to read the book. So therefore, it's always the same. It's left, left, up, right, right, up, left, up. I bet he gets better blue balls than you, Crunchy.
I hope so. I want people to get.
I mean, 5 is quite hard to beat. How have I not just cursed him?
Provone curse incoming.
I've cursed so many people in this tournament just by saying stuff or commentating.
You can put that on a resume. Oh, he gets no blue balls. I guess I must have gotten
he got
enough for
one.
both of us.
He
Oh,
got
did?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 blue ball. Still
Just
really
one.
good.
I mean, you'd take one with just one. Because a blue ball is worth 8 seconds in total. So Crunchy lost 40 seconds blue balls. That really adds up.
Feels bad, man.
They're called blue balls as a tribute to A Link to the Past.
Yeah.
We've kind of just been calling them that forever. I can't
Yeah.
remember when they weren't called that.
Wow. Wow.
So we have Perfect Quest
GG.
in the Discord
GG.
before you even
Wow.
see him finish.
Well, technically I finished, I just didn't finish on... You know what I mean?
Oh, there it is.
Finish.
There's the
So
end.
you finished with 2 hour 120.
That was terrible. I don't even know what to say. It hurts.
Well, it looks like, yeah, you're having some issue with the D6 super jump there, trying to get to where the horse